Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first consolation game between the Hornets of Edina and the Bears from White Bear Lake. Well, on this March morning in Minnesota, snow blurred the view of St. Paul's scenic sights. From the saintly sights to the statues, there was snow everywhere. 6 inches fell in this capital city overnight, but it has hardly put a stop to the main event, because here at the Civic Center, the show must go on. Hockey 89, 2 days here left now, and all is inside as the scoreboard, broken for the first day, is all set to go for day 2. Ralph John Fritz along with Tom Hanneman. Tom, we have quite a matchup here actually in this first game. Edina, a team that's been here so many times, against White Bear Lake. I think the key for Tom Simpson and his group is just to really get here, because really there's a big future for them. They have the young Tom Bonin kid coming up, a band team that was outstanding, and they're all staying at White Bear Lake.
Edina, I would think, would be considered a heavy favorite in this game. So we've got White Bear Lake and Edina going at it in just a few moments. Then in the championship semifinal, first of the day, Duluth-Denfeld against Rochester and John Marshall. That at 2:45 start time.
So we're all set. We'll be back with the opening face-off right after this. This is continuing coverage of the 1989 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
What can I do for you?
I'd like to apply for a loan.
Name?
Chuck.
What do you do for a living, Chuck?
Well, I have a little...
How much do you make? Any debts or assets? Are you married or cohabiting, Chucky? Ever had a loan before? Do you smoke other than cigarettes? Ever been arrested? Do you sleep well? Any kinky habit?
If borrowing money brings out the beast in you, escape to TCF. We'll give you an answer within 8 hours on all kinds of loans.
You eat any strange food?
Hi, Tim Laudner here to let you know you don't have to go to Florida to watch us in spring training this year. Midwest Sports Channel brings you exclusive live TV coverage of preseason Twins games.
Join MSC on Sunday, March 5th, when the Twins meet the Houston Astros at Tinker Field in Orlando. Jim Cott and Ted Robinson bring you all the action, starting with the pregame show at 12 noon.
Catch all the action on MSC, cable TV home of the Minnesota Twins.
Me being from Minnesota and stuff like that, I think it gives you a little incentive to know that, wait, hey, this guy here from Minnesota made it, why can't I? And, you know, I was talented when I was in grade school, junior high, high school. I could play the game of baseball, and I could play a few other sports. But you just have to have common sense and go out there and work hard and try to have as much fun as you can. That's one thing I stress a lot, is to have fun when you're out there playing. Because when I'm out here in the field, I like to have a good time.
Take time to share and participate in Minnesota Food Share Month. I'm Cindy Hilcher.
And I'm Don Shelby. Each year, families in more than 80,000 Minnesota homes use the food shelves.
You can make a difference by donating your non-perishable goods or sending your cash contribution to 122 West Franklin, Minneapolis.
Or you can donate at your local place of worship. Join Channel 4 and the Minnesota Food Share by helping us reach our goal by collecting 3 million pounds of food.
For more information, call 870-0232.
We are just about ready to start our first consolation semifinal of the day. Edina against White Bear Lake. One change we should mention in goal for Edina this game. Willard Eichela going with his junior goaltender, Mike Schaefer, who's only played 3 games this year.
Tom Simpson told me he'd stay with Brian Peck, his regular goaltender. He says we're going to kind of stay with what we got here with. And right now we're going upstairs to Ted Robinson and the man with the mellifluous tones there, Steve Cannon.
Thank you, Ralph and Tom. You know, Steve, this has to be the toughest game of this tournament because nobody comes here to play in this game.
That's right. You got to say to yourself, if you're Edina, we'll build on today's game, and if we win today, tomorrow's for next year. You say the same thing for White Bear Lake. Whether or not these two clubs can do that's another thing. Psychologically, it's tough. We'll just have to wait and find out how they react.
We'll find out really how much pride these young men have today and who really loves to play this game as we get set for our first consolation game. And right now, let's meet the starting lineups.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for this afternoon's game between White Bear and Edina. First, let's meet the champions of Section 3, the White Bear Bears. Starting in goal, number 30, Brian Peck. At defense, number 3, Jason Christensen. And number 8, Chris Bellick. At center, number 7, Andy Peterson. And the wings are number 9, Nick Meyer, and number 18, Jeff Maz. And in his 17th year as head coach, Tom Simpson. And now the champions of Section 6, the Edina Hornets. In goal, number 30, Mike Schaffer. At defense, number 5, Nick Kennedy. And number 13, Greg Chapman. Starting at center, number 19, Noel Ron. At wing, number 10, Matt Cronin. And number 14, Mike Heinecker. And in his 31st year as head coach of the Hornets, Willard Eichela. Here are your officials for this game. The linesman is James Westby, and your referees, Earl Anderson and Keith Markstrom. On the scoreboard, White Bear is the visitor, Edina the home team.
All right, so we're about set to go. Both teams made it. That's a plus. A lot of folks, I'm sure, maybe a little hesitant or taking their time getting here today because of the bad weather. So if you're at home watching, just stay there, be warm, and we'll have all 4 games here for you today.
Edina starting their reserve goalie, Mike Schaffer. They're going to give Bertram a rest. We're going to get a look at this young fellow for next year. I would think that Edina, on form, should win this game, Mr. Robinson. But then, as we discussed at the top of the show, are they ready to play? Have they shaken off the ignominy of what happened to them yesterday, coming in here as the favorites and winding up in the consolation round?
Well, it's difficult, I'm sure, for the young men because the dream is gone, at least the dream of winning the whole thing, but still a chance to take home a trophy. That's why they're playing.
White Bear Lake with a very young club building for next year also, and here we go.
And it's Andy Peterson for White Bear Lake and Noel Ron for Edina on the draw. And the Hornets in the white jerseys control. Nick Kennedy at the red line trying to shovel it across. This is Matt Cronin. And into the White Bear zone where it's broken up and dumped back to center. The Bears pick it up. It's Nick Myers sending it in behind Schaefer in the Edina net. White Bear checked very closely by Denfeld yesterday, and the big lines, their 2 top lines, had very little room to skate. I'm sure they were expecting to have a little easier time with it today against the Edina team that must be somewhat disappointed. Nick Meyer with the puck now, trying to get it to center, and it's broken up by the Hornets, who shoveled it back in. On the forecheck, Josh Hoekstra, but an offside is called against Edina, and we'll have a face-off at center ice after 44 seconds.
Be interesting to see how many folks show up for this game, Ted. What with a snowstorm, a consolation affair. It's not even a quarter full right now here at the Civic Center.
Tommy Nevers, who had 2 goals for Edina in the 3rd period yesterday, is on now his line against the Craig Caracas line, the big line for White Bear Lake, and Nevers immediately with a couple of hits deep in the White Bear end. But the Bears break out with Caracas. Now trying to find Chuck Duber on the right wing, and it's broken up by Hoekstra at the red line. Big pass behind a man, and the Hornets play it back at center. And Nevers takes a big hip check from Duber. Both men get up. It's dumped down. Brian Johnson plays it for White Bear Lake to Duber. Hitting Caracas through center ice, and it's sent in behind the Edina net. The Bears changing up as Dan Plante plays it for the Hornets. To Hoekstra, tipping it ahead. This is Nevers coming 1-on-3, dumping and wheeling to head for the bench on a change. Chris Clausen ahead for White Bear. They try to get out of their end. This is Kiefer with it, dumping it in. Schaefer holding it up behind his net. On the near side, a heavy hit, and Chad Lindell plays it for the Hornets. He's bumped by Rick Kiefer. Bears doing some good forechecking here. Now they finally work the puck free. Trying to center in front was Derek Wynn, and he was bumped off the play. From the point, a slap shot goes through by Jason Christensen wide. And now to the far side, the puck is tied up and held after 2 minutes and 15 seconds. There's no score with a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Getting bogged down in financing can put the home of your dreams out of your reach. Now there's help. Realty World and TCF.
Well, immediately, Steve, White Bear Lake, a little bit more room to operate than they did yesterday against Denfeld.
They're kind of feeling each other out, Ted. Neither team doing a lot right at the moment. There's a long shot.
And Belloc sending it in wide of the goal. This is Peterson, Maas, and Meyer. The second line out for White Bear, centered right in front. Peterson's backhander trickled wide, hitting the side of the goal. Jeff Maas working it free in the near corner for the Bears. Trying to go back to the point, and it's broken up by Chad Hardy. He breaks out with Chris Garvin. This is Hardy, 2-on-2. And Garvin will get a shot off that's partially blocked, comes on net, and is held by Brian Peck.
Garvin couldn't get anything on that shot. It was an easy save for Peck. No score in the hockey game. We've just begun. White Bear, nothing. Edina, nothing. There was a nice article in the Tribune this morning on Tommy Nevers. You happen to see that, Teddy?
Yes. What a show he put on the third period yesterday.
Yeah. He felt he held the puck too much and too long. That has been a knock on him from time to time, that he doesn't pass off. But he sure put on a show, as you said.
Chris Lindell on the draw for Edina. Caracas for White Bear. And it's shoveled out to center. We've played almost 3 minutes in the first period of this consolation semifinal. Following this game, Rochester, John Marshall, and Duluth Denfeld in the first championship semifinal. Now the Hornets pressuring. Lindell trying to center Chris Lindell, and it's broken up. And finally cleared up to Duber on the right wing. Left wing pass behind Dan Wright. Hopped his stick at center. Duber follows up. He has Caracas in front. Can't get him the puck. Ridden into the boards nicely on the near side by Greg Chapman. Now Wright follows it up at the blue line. Brian Johnson's shot attempt in was partially deflected and dumped ahead to the White Bear end, where Chad Norman plays it. Tipped ahead at center for Caracas. He chases it down, but he's taken off the play nicely by Jay Lindsay. Lindsay takes a bump from Duber. This Bear line, this top line, doing some good forechecking here in the opening moments. And now finally Edina to center, where Hardy tries to shoot it in as they complete a change. And Duber sends it back down for White Bear. Jay Lindsay around the far side for Matt Cronin. Cronin playing with Noel Ron. And his shot is deflected in front. A shot by Derek Wynn, and it may have been tipped in by Chris Clausen to give White Bear a 1-0 lead. Forechecking paid off for White Bear, Steve.
It did indeed. Now Derek Wynn coming with the puck. Shoots it. Flips right over the shoulder of Schaffer and into the net. It might have been tipped. We'll have to wait and see. Did he catch it?
Watch Clausen in front here. Yes, it did.
17-14 the time of the goal.
That's a great tip by Clausen, as Clausen's going to get his stick on it and turn this into a knuckleball.
So they're giving the goal to Lindsay. And let me get myself straightened out here. To Clausen, excuse me. And Wynn the assist.
4:06 will be the time of the goal. That was a terrific deflection. He got to pick that out of midair. So White Bear Lake on the board quickly and early. And this, what in essence is their third line, Clausen, Wynn, and Kiefer coming up with the goal. You watch warm-up, Steve, and you kind of get a feeling as to maybe one team might have a little more bounce in their step than the other. I think White Bear had a little more bounce today during warm-ups than Edina.
Yeah, that was an inauspicious opening for that young goalie for Edina, for Mike Schaffer.
There's Mike Terwilliger playing the puck behind the Edina net. Jay Lindsay starting out, and now Noel Oran gets it at center, coming with Henniker. The drop to Henniker in the high slot, and a shot gloved by Peck, and he'll hold on. White Bear Lake leads 1-0 with a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Christian Brothers, hockey sticks made by hockey players who know that accuracy, dependability, and quickness really count. Join the shift to Christian Brothers, America's stick, made in Hockeytown, USA.
Drop the puck now. They're going to drop the puck to the left of the White Bear goalie, with White Bear leading 1-0 now. 10:25 left initial period.
And the two top centers colliding here, Caracas and Ron wins the draw back to Lindsay, but his shot was blocked at the point, and now it's poked out to center, just over Jeff Maz's stick. And Maz picks it up for the Bears, trying to start Andy Peterson in on the left side. It was broken up. Back comes Jay Lindsay for Edina, hitting Ron at the blue line. In front for Henniker, and he was bumped off the play by Chad Norman. Centered in the high slot there for Dan Plante, broken up, and back come the Bears with a 3-on-2 if they hurry. In the middle, it was Brian Johnson, a defenseman, losing it on a poke back to center ice. Now picked up by John Peterson for the Hornets. Here he comes, and his shot deflecting the slot and hopped over Plante's stick and wide of the net. Now it's center and a 1-0 White Bear lead. Here come the Bears. This is Andy Peterson shooting right on. Schaefer the save. Rebound shoveled away to the side. And fallen on and frozen in the corner for a draw to the left side of the Edina net.
Schaefer made an excellent save there. Then a couple of his teammates flew into the net. We'll get a look at it right now. Here comes White Bear. There's the shot. Schaefer kicks it out. Rebound there. And then swept aside by one of the Edina teammates.
Only the fourth game for Schaefer. Getting a chance now in the consolation. He'll be one of the goalies competing for time next year, although Edina has a young girl who played for their JV team this year that may compete for the goaltending job as well. Here comes White Bear's Duber. Dropping to Caracas, shovels it through the slot. Right, chasing it down. A good hard shot there is gloved by Schaefer, and he hangs on.
Edina sleepwalking is what they're doing, Teddy. They're just not into it. It's almost a carbon copy of their first period yesterday against Rochester John Marshall. It's 1-0 with 9 minutes left in his first period, and White Bear's on top.
It's that records, those records there kind of tell you, in fact, how difficult a game this is to play, especially when you're a defending state champ. You got 8 kids back from that team like Edina does. Shot from the point, and not good wood on it by Jason Christensen. Centered back in front by the Bears and kicked out the center by Edina. Christensen sends it right back in, and Schaefer leaving it for Greg Chapman. Up the left side, Chris Justice trying to tip it to center, and it's kept in by Caracas. Now Nick Kennedy for Edina is pinned behind the net. Worked free. Again, the Caracas line doing a good job of forechecking, bottling Edina up. Now Caracas with it, centers at the back of the net. The Hornets try to clear it, can't, comes onto Caracas' stick, and he can't get a shot up as he tries to move around the defenseman in front. And finally, Chris Justice fires at the center for the Hornets. Trying to hit Jay Chapman, down they come, Chapman in front, scores! They put the red light on, but the puck hit the post, I believe, yes. Play continues. The red light went on, but the puck hit the post.
That was Jay Chapman on a great feed, and he hit the post. Jay is Wally Chapman's brother, a former Gopher great.
For a moment there, you couldn't tell. The puck might have hit the metal in the back of the net and come out. Coming in quickly and sliding it on net is Derek Wynn. Schaefer holds it, but we'll take a look one more time at the shot by Chapman on the 2-on-1.
All right, watch the setup now. There's Chapman shooting a wide open net, and it hit the goalie's stick and hit the post and bounced out, and Chapman's talking to himself. It could have been the equalizer.
Looked like it hit one post and then came back at a funny angle, almost went right across the goal line. White Bear still with the lead on the drop. Brian Johnson blasting on a blocker pad save by Schaefer. 7.5 remaining in the first period. White Bear Lake leading 1-0 on a goal by senior Chris Clausen. Now at center, it's sent down by Brian Johnson, and this is an icing call against White Bear Lake. With the score, White Bear Lake 1, Edina 0. This is Hockey 89, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
You've seen those Chevy versus Ford tests, right? We came up with one of our own.
half-ton 4x4s, best available tires, driven at the same identical speed right through this 18-inch deep ditch. Now, this is a real control test, so don't you try it because you'll damage your truck. That's a Chevy with torsion bar suspension, and that's the Ford with twin traction beam suspension. And you can see why we've had to change a hardened pickup.
That's today's Chevy truck.
They're dropping the puck to the left of the White Bear goalie. They're going to have to do it again. 1-0 White Bear. Edina's starting to pick up their game now, Ted. Starting to get into the flow. They had a great chance here momentarily by Jay Chapman. He hits the pipe.
And that last shift was a good one for Edina, their first real strong shift. Now Terwilliger playing the puck back in the Edina zone. He's paired with Jay Lindsay. Up front, it's Lindell, Hardy, and Garvin, the line for the Hornets. Now ahead to Jeff Maas, who can't get it out. Kept in by Hardy, and a shot hits the stick of a White Bear defender, Chad Norman, and deflects up over the glass and out of play.
Edina's got great speed, and the hallmark of Willard Eichel clubs is they play great defense. It starts there. And they're very speedy. They're a disciplined club. They go up and down their lanes. You wouldn't call them super creative, but they're very disciplined. And once they get it going, they're tough. And they're starting to get it going now, in my opinion.
Noel Ron to take the draw now for Edina. Andy Peterson for White Bear Lake. And the draw comes to Edina. John Peterson dumps it down behind the net. Chasing it is Henniker. Henniker takes a hit into the boards from Chris Belloc. And now the Bears come out with the puck. It's Andy Peterson through center. His blast is blocked by defenseman Peterson. The puck is caught somewhere in Peterson's gear. And play stops.
Peterson's an excellent defensive defenseman. Edina was hurt in yesterday's game by the inability of their star defenseman Terwilliger to shoot from the point because of the bad shoulder. They had a lot of point shots out there against John Marshall, but he couldn't shoot them. He had to feed the puck in behind. 1-0 White Bear leads.
This draw on the Edina end, and Ron pulls it back for his defenseman Chad Lindell. He's sandwiched into the boards with Meyer and Peterson of White Bear fighting. White Bear does not want to play stoppage. They're trying to work it free, and finally it comes to Henniker for Edina. But he's back-checked off the play. This is Maas with it, dumping it in front. Cleared by Peterson, but not out. Backhander in the slot blocked. 2 shots blocked, and finally a hand pass whistled against Edina. And we'll get another face-off. The left of the Hornets zone is, Stevie talked about Edina and Eichel's great discipline and defense. The 3-section games in that tough Section 6, Edina gave up a total of just 3 goals.
We might add for our late viewers that Bertram, their #1 goalie, is not in the nets. Schaefer is playing this afternoon for Edina. He's given up 1 goal.
And Noel Ron is doing a nice job on draws in this first period. And because of the draw being loose, Belloc had vacated the blue line for White Bear, and so Christensen had nowhere to go with it. Now, nice hit. Nick Meyer with the puck, centering it in front. It's off a stick to the blue line. Belloc keeps it in. Into the near corner. This is Nick Meyer. Pinned in. Andy Peterson is there. Ron is chasing. Peterson centers in front, and the man couldn't get the stick on the puck. He centers back up the slot for Christensen. Belloc keeps it in blue line. Flip shot in front is blocked and finally cleared. It was Jeff Maas that could not get the puck squarely on his stick in front. And an icing call against Edina. White Bear Lake leads 1-0. This is Hockey 89, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Used to be, when investors got into the stock market, they could almost plan on things going one way. But unfortunately, things don't always come out as planned. So if you're looking for an investment you can count on, come to TCF for a variety of insured savings plans that offer a guaranteed rate and keep yourself well covered.
There's your time remaining. First period consolation semifinal. White Bear Lake the lead. Caracas and Tom Nevers on the draw. And at the point, it's kept in by Steve Gorowski for White Bear. Now trying to get it back to the point was Dan Wright, and he missed his point man, and it comes all the way back on his own goal. Now at the blue line, Edina keeping it in. Trying to reverse the territorial edge. Nice centering pass in front, and Hoekstra could not get a stick on the pass from Plot. Back comes Karakas. Karakas faking the shot, feeding in deep to right. Return pass was blocked. And Edina clears it back to the White Bear end. Karam comes right on neck, and Peck leaves for Gorowski. And Gorowski shovels it to center ice, where Nick Kennedy will play for the Hornets. Tip pass ahead to Nevers. Nevers coming in without much help, and his stick checked off the play by Gorowski. Now the Hornets trying to put some pressure on. A shot by Chris Justice, weakly sticked away by Peck. Up the near side, shoveled ahead, and finally Karakas moving it to center. Craig Karakas. And he's double teamed off the puck by Terwilliger. Edina can't clear. It's kept in for Karakas in the circle. Taken away again by Terwilliger. 4:10 to play first period. 1-0 in favor of White Bear Lake. We've got a whistle.
Terwilliger took a big hit on that shoulder, and he's getting up real slow. Notice him, the arm there, as it kind of hangs there rather limply. He's hurting. That's the sore shoulder, and he's coming off now, Ted. 1-0 White Bear.
Get some light! The way he's holding that, you wonder if he's going to come back. Sure sign of a shoulder that's been separated. Now Edina trying to pressure. It's behind the White Bear net. Vandertop getting it back towards the point for John Peterson. Now broken loose into the slot. Vandertop trying to get a shot off, can't. And finally Derek Wynn moves it to center for the Bears. Takes a hard hit from Vandertop, and it's sent right back in behind the Bears cage. Up the near side, a bump there by Vandertop. And we've got a penalty coming up now as play is stopped at center ice. We'll have a power play when we return. White Bear Lake leading 1-0. A break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Preseason savings on top quality Bryant air conditioning. Save up to $500 off the already low prices at All Season Comfort in New Brighton. Call today.
All right, let's watch this now. We'll see how Vandertop gets nailed here. As you see, he drags down a White Bear fellow. And no doubt about that one. So White Bear on the power play now for 2 minutes, leading 1-0 with 3:28 left in this initial canto.
Canto.
You like that?
Is that Latin?
Yeah. I bring a certain archaic quality to this broadcast, don't I, Ted?
All right, here's the power play for the Bears, leading 1-0. 11:32, the time of the penalty on Edina's Chad Vandertop. White Bear had only one power play against Denfeld yesterday. They did not score. Karakas coming across the line, leaving the puck for the point man, and it came across the blue line. They have to retreat. Now dumped in for Andy Peterson, who's offside on the right. And they'll drop it outside the Edina blue line. Karakas playing the blue line, and Andy Peterson, senior. Good second line centerman for White Bear, is up front with Maz and Meyer. Noel Ron to take the draw for Edina. Maz trying to work that puck into the line, into the zone, cannot. It comes back to the White Bear line. Now Karakas dumps it down to the left side of the Edina net. And it's cleared by the Hornets up and down into the White Bear end. So the Bears unable to get anything sustained in the Edina zone. 1 minute and 5 seconds on the penalty, and the Hornets get the puck and clear it back to center. This enables them to make a change as Karakas goes back to play it again behind his net. That's the time remaining in the first period. 54 seconds on the power play. Here comes Nick Meyer now getting the puck into the Edina zone. He's bumped into the boards by Greg Chapman. Taken away, though, and worked up by Edina. Kept it at the blue line. Whipped at by Kennedy. Nevers back to play it. Nice wheel. And Nevers can't get it out. Hope checked back in by Brian Johnson, but still nothing resembling a shot yet for White Bear in his power play that has 25 seconds remaining. Andy Peterson hits Caracas. Fakes the shot, dropping nicely for Moz. Tried to return it onto the stick of Meyer, and his shot is deflected by Schaefer, and it goes high up into the crowd. And there, at the tail end, was the first good chance.
And Caracas set that one up. He's got good peripheral vision here. You'll watch. Here's the shot by Meyer, and he hits it up over the net, off the glove of the goalie Schaefer. Meyer tried to put too much on it, perhaps, there, Ted.
Yeah, actually, it didn't. Schaefer may not have touched that. That might have just been Meyer going up top, way up top. So 15 seconds now on the White Bear power play. 1:42 remaining in the period.
You know what they call that shot that high? A roofer. If it had gone in.
Schaefer out behind his net. He's being turned around by Chuck Duber. Caracas parked in front. Now Edina back to even strength. Centered for Caracas. Muscled off the play, and a shot from the point by Peterson was deflected by a sliding man, and it goes high up into the crowd again and out of play. Well, we're down to 1:19 to play now in the period, and White Bear holding the 1-0 lead after Edina kills the power play.
You talk to the smart money. Some of the writers up here, Greg Wong from the Pioneer Press, told me before the game he thought Edina would win by 4 or 5 goals. Not going to happen. They may win, but certainly not by 4 or 5. They've been outplayed thus far in this first period.
5-3 is the shot on goal edge right now for White Bear Lake. And Derek Wynn trying to center back to the blue line, and it's tipped by an Edina stick. And Chad Norman has to chase it back into his own end. His clearing pass almost stolen, and out back come the Bears. This is Clausen, the goal scorer, sending it in. Keeper trying to center, sticked away by Schaefer. And now the Hornets look to break out. On the right side, Chris Garvin. Garvin wheeling through the slot. Backhander is blown by Peck. And he holds on with 45 seconds left in the period.
Garvin couldn't get much on that backhand. With the sticks the way they're made these days, it's tough to have a good backhand. With that slight curve they put on them, Ted.
In the old days, who was the best backhand you can remember seeing? Some great
in this tournament?
Some of the even pros. I remember seeing some great backhands, don't you?
I'm hard pressed right now to start thinking of a great backhand. Stan Makita.
Yeah, I was just saying Makita, and I remember kind of Dave Keon too.
Oh, Davey Keon. Well, he was so smooth. But nowadays you don't see backhands much, do you?
Lindell and Caracas on the draw. Caracas can't. Well, he did clear it out, and it was brought back in by Jay Lindsay on an offside.
As a matter of fact, when Neil Broughton was injured with the North Stars, it was after a backhand chance, and after he shot the puck on a power play, it was wide open, and Wilson nailed him in the sternum. You also make yourself vulnerable after a backhand shot.
Chuck Duber coming down the right side now for the Bears. Flips it to the goal. Caracas goes sliding into the puck, and he's on top of the puck, and we get some shoving now. Jay Lindsay of Edina and Dan Wright of the Bears. 26 seconds in the period.
This whole tournament has been played cleanly, though. Have you noticed that? There hasn't been a lot of chippy stuff.
Now we're going to believe we're going to get coincidental minors here.
That's one of the reasons there hasn't been a lot of chippy stuff. They nail it right away. Put them in the cooler.
No penalties on the play, so they'll drop it outside the Edina line. Sent in on goal. Schaefer steering it away. Cleared to center for Chad Hardy, but back there to play it is White Bear, but they give it back down to their own end now with 12 seconds. Wheeling with it, Dan Wright trying to get it out. He can't. Here's a backhand drop for Hardy, and his shot just goes wide. A good chance by Chad Hardy. Rebound flipped wide of the net as the period comes to an end. So Chad Hardy with perhaps the best chance for Edina in this first period in the closing seconds. His shot just went wide, and White Bear Lake leads the 5-time state champion Edina Hornets 1-0 after one period of this consolation semifinal game. And so I think one question, Steve, has been answered. It is a difficult game to play. Nobody, as far as players go, wants to be in this game, and Edina may have to get that locker room and summon up a little bit of their pride to come back out here and charge in the second period.
I thought Edina picked up the play, Ted, as it went along. After the goal by Clausen, they kind of woke up a wee bit. But I'd have to say White Bear dominated Edina most of that period. I look for Edina to come back stronger in the second period.
All right. Up here it is 1-0 White Bear Lake after one period. Now let's go down to Ralph, John Fritz, and Tom Hannon.
All right. Thank you very much, Ted and Steve. This is really not the same Edina team that I saw in the sectional finals, Tom. I saw them actually in the semis and the finals, and it's not the same club.
No question. And White Bear, given their history in the tournament recently, they've had problems. In 2 losses the last trip, they did not score a goal, just had one yesterday. So I think this game means a great deal to them right now.
So the score, White Bear Lake 1, Edina 0 after one period of play. And live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing coverage of the 1989 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Well, what can we do for you?
My name is John, and I'd like to explain.
When you go to some banks to borrow money, the way you're treated is almost criminal.
What do you want the money for?
Well, I'd like to buy
What makes you think we should give you the money?
Well, I thought you were the ones who had it. What is this?
Just sign it.
What?
Escape to TCF. We'll give you an answer within 8 hours on all kinds of loans.
How long will it take?
We'll get back to you.
I rock all across the country, and wherever I go, I see people getting healthy. Yeah, there's something they know. They know that milk's got the vitamins and protein too. So get some milk in your health kick, whatever you do. Come on and kick, health kick with milk. Come on and kick, health kick with milk. America's favorite health kick, milk.
Get on a health kick with milk.
I always get caught in these trendy restaurants and I want a hamburger. But how do you order a burger when they're pushing radicchio? So I just breathe deep and I think, what would Lauren Bacall do? I got a taste for some real food.
When I have a taste for a burger, that's what I order. If it's not on the menu, I glare at the waiter and say, improvise. Then I purr.
I've got a taste for some real food.
Panasonic Video. All on sale. 3 days only at Best Buy. Panasonic televisions and VCRs. Panasonic camcorders. All on sale. Thursday through Saturday. Best Buy's 3-day video sale. Top name brands on sale at Best Buy.
White Bear Lake, the dominant team, certainly through the first period of this consolation semifinal, and it's reflected on the scoreboard. They lead the game after one period, 1-0. We'll take a look at the only goal of that first period. Derek Wynn, the sophomore center, had a shot here that hit Chris Clausen and deflected right there past Hornet goaltender Mike Schaefer. 4 minutes into the game, White Bear Lake with a 1-0 lead.
Tom, I think the best chance, the best opportunity for the Edina Hornets is right here when Chapman has a wide open net and bang, hits the pipe and it flutters away. And they had a couple of other opportunities, but you said that, well, there you see the goalie saves Peck and Schaefer. I don't think it's as indicative as one-sided as it was for White Bear Lake. 5-5, Peck and Schaefer on, and the score only being 1-0. It could be a lot worse. We have not heard from a lot of the names that are very familiar to this tournament. Ron, Nevers, Chapman, Vandertop. We can go right down the list. Guys that have been here, but they aren't coming through for the Hornets.
Still very early, though. This is Hockey 89, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
The 1989 Chevrolet Celebrity, all dressed up without running up the price. $11,870 at your Heartland Chevrolet dealers. The 1989 Chevy Celebrity, $11,870 after a $1,000 rebate at your Heartland Chevrolet dealers. Celebrity, on sale now.
Red Baron.
Red Baron Pizza, microwave singles, an unexpected pleasure.
The following retailers would like to remind you that spring is just around the corner.
Funky.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Nasty. Hey!
The care behind this card started over half a century ago.
Good morning. Blue Cross Report.
Today, that caring continues. Listening, learning, working together.
This Blue Cross report confirms what we're doing in therapy.
And helping you keep the doctor you know and trust. You may not always see the care behind the card, but you can't miss the feeling it brings.
Well, Edina has made it to this championship 7 of the last 9 years, and that's given one family a chance to be here more than one time with more than one son. And Tom Hanneman, my colleague, now has a report on the Chapmans.
Having a son play at the state hockey tournament is quite a treat for most parents. And for Lee and Sandy Chapman, the treat is doubly sweet. This year, with the appearance of their sophomore son, Chad, the Chapmans have been able to see 2 sons play in the state tournament.
I just think it's wonderful. I'm thrilled that the kids, both of them, could be here. It's just, how many families get to have 2 kids playing in the state tournament? We're really happy to be here.
Their oldest boy, Wally, captained the tournament-winning 1982 team. This year, the Chapmans are not as lucky, and says Lee, that's sometimes the hardest part.
I think the stress, the excitement of getting here, and then the disappointment if you don't do well.
The Chapman family from Edina. Well, you wouldn't think it would be a difficult decision who to root for at this tournament. If you're from Duluth, you cheer for Duluth. If you're from White Bear Lake, you're a Bear fan through and through. That is until family ties start crossing geographic lines. Reed Larson had a brother in the game, number 18, Brett Larson, a defenseman for Duluth-Denfeld. His cousin, Eric Larson, was rooting against Denfeld, and for White Bear Lake, where his dad, Bill Larson, is a JV hockey coach. Between periods, the boys, both 11-year-old fifth graders, got together with very different predictions for the game's outcome.
Bears!
The boys' grandparents, Butch and Barbara Larson, were sitting in the Denfeld section, but Barbara had a dilemma.
I can't really say. You know, I want to win for the grandson, but I want my son to be happy, too.
Grandpa said home is where the heart is.
We're really Denfeld people.
What's your wife's problem then?
Oh, gosh, I don't know what her problem is. Here, I'll put this cap on. Maybe that'll make her a Denfeld.
As for young Eric, well, he came prepared for any event.
It doesn't really matter who wins at this game, because if they win, I have one of those hats. Because my uncle came down and gave me one of those hats.
Today, the boys will sit together, pulling for White Bear Lake against Edina, and later for Denfeld over Rochester, on the same side till next year.
Bears! Bears!
All sorts of dilemmas in this tournament, Ralph.
Okay, White Bear Lake leading Edina 1-0 after one period of play here in Consolation. Then later this afternoon, we have Rochester going against Duluth-Denfeld. And with those outstate teams, I hope a lot of those people didn't have a lot of traveling to do, because weather is playing an important part in our state tournament right now. And we're going to Bud Kraling for a weather update. Bud?
Well, it's officially the 1989 hockey storm in the Twin Cities area and pretty much 5 statewide. Snow is falling now from the northern part of Iowa all through Minnesota. As far to the north as Thief River Falls and Ely. Only International Falls at the moment is without snow. Falling through much of Wisconsin. And we have had 6 inches of snow here in the metro area. Some other snowfall amounts on at Mankato, report of 7. And just west of New Ulm at Springfield, Minnesota, 9 inches of snow. Precipitation is moving on to the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And winter storm warnings cover the entire state of South Dakota, northern Iowa, all of Wisconsin, and almost all of Minnesota, except for the northwestern corner where we have a snow advisory for the afternoon. Of course, the winter storm warning includes our Twin Cities metro area. Some snowfall amounts through the morning into the early afternoon. 1 to 3 in the northeastern part of the state, and 10 to 15 from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the metro area, and into Wisconsin. And no parking on snow emergency routes tonight in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And now it's back to hockey.
Happy holidays, Bud.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bud. Appreciate that. Always at tournament time.
We've got a captive audience out there with all that snow coming.
Nobody can get out. Let's hope there are none in Duluth and Rochester who couldn't get to the game who wanted to be here. Live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing coverage of the 1989 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
It's a decoration celebration at Menards. Save 50% right now on all Berkeley and other pre-pasted wallpaper in stock. Choose from over 200 beautiful patterns on sale now at half price. Tile Pack ceramic tile is on sale too. Save on rich mosaic tiles with web backing for easy installation. Now just $1.59 per square foot. Decorate, celebrate, and save at Menards.
We're helping you build America's heartland at Menards. She's the girl of my dreams. She taught me what real love means. You can't beat it. The feeling you get when your love is the real thing. Hi, Daddy. Can't beat the feeling.
Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the feeling.
The Missouri River Reservoir System can capture beautiful sunsets and scenery. But the real beauty is in the walleye, pike, and Chinook salmon that are caught consistently by pros and amateur all year around. To find out more information on South Dakota fishing opportunities and a free fishing weekend with Tony Dean on Lake Oahe at Mobridge, call 1-800-843-1930. Or write South Dakota Tourism, Capitol Lake Plaza, Pier, South Dakota, 57501.
Hi, Dad. Jane.
Hey, Jim.
Cool.
I think we're a success.
Where'd you learn to use all this stuff?
Training at the Technical Institute, Jim. That's how I got my job here.
I still don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Jim, whatever career you decide on, just make sure that the school that you choose puts you to work when you finish.
Feel good about yourself and feel great about your future.
Traveling this winter? Call 330-9020 weekdays.
Our score after one period, White Bear Lake 1, Edina nothing. Should be interesting second period, Ralph, because yesterday, really the second period was Edina's downfall against Rochester John Marshall. They were held to just 3 shots on goal. They seem to be picking up the pace, as Steve Cannon mentioned, towards the end of the first period.
Okay, we'll throw it back now to upstairs to Ted and Steve. And I saw Morgan Mundane in the hallway here earlier, Steve, and he said this is exactly how I picked this game to go.
Well, Ralphie, I think Morgan is snoozing through this game. He's getting ready for that. Getting ready for the big game to follow.
Actually, Edina's been snoozing a little bit here themselves.
Yeah, you got it right, Teddy.
I think Ralph and Tom hit it right on the head. This is not the same Edina team that got through that incredibly powerful Section 6.
They're the defending state champ, right? Mm-hmm. They lose out in the quarterfinals yesterday. They go back to their motel or their hotel last night, and I doubt if they got a lot of sleep, you know what I'm saying? I think they went back there and they relived that final 2 minutes when Nevers breaks in, gets off a tremendous shot. It's stopped by the goaltender from Rochester, John Marshall. They get the open net goal and they make it 4-2 and the game's over. So Edina, Ted, is saying to themselves, I don't know whether we should show up tomorrow. As you say, well, why doesn't White Bear Lake feel that way? Well, White Bear Lake was not the defending champ for one thing. I think they feel fortunate to be here, and also they're looking till next year because they got so many young people. And I really think that's why White Bear came out so strong in that first period. It'll be interesting to see now if Willard Eichel can get his troops juiced up for period number 2. The score 1-0 White Bear.
And that's really the point we mentioned at the outset. As you find out in this type of game, you know, the players that have real pride, that love to play the game regardless of what may not, or may not be on the line, is what you see become evident in a game like this. And we'll see if Edina summons up some of that great pride and their great tradition. But they give the puck away right away. Centering pass to Peterson in front. He can't push it by Schaefer. And then Nick Meyer nudges it just wide of the open cage. So White Bear Lake almost puts another one on the board in the first 20 seconds of the period. Now the Bears come back. This is Jeff Maas down the far boards to Peterson in the middle, but he's tied up, can't get a shot off. Peterson slides into the net, and a centering pass is broken up by Nick Kennedy for Edina. To the red line, he fires it in on Brian Peck. Now Peck leading it behind the net, but Dan Plon is there first for Edina. Up the boards, Nevers keeping it in. Now Nevers down the far side, trying to work it free, battling with Henniker. Now the Bears come out with it. Rushing through center, Jason Christensen dumping it in. The Bears changing up 5 on the fly. Terwilliger, despite that bad shoulder, is back out on the ice for Edina. And now here's a chance. This is Wright coming in left side in front. Tip saved by Schaefer. Right on the doorstep was Chuck Duber for the tip. And Schaefer stood his ground. Now Noel Ron clears it ahead. And finally Henniker breaking out for Edina. Across the White Bear line for Ron, broken up. Henniker following, poked away in the slot, and cleared by Brian Johnson. The Bears send it down to the right side of Schaefer in the Edina net. Jay Lindsay back to play it. Up the far side, loose in center. The Hornets needing to make a change. Can't play the loose puck. And it's sent ahead to Caracas. And Caracas is flattened at center ice. Now comes back with the puck again. Down the left side with line mates dropping it in the slot. And Rick Keeper pushes it wide. Out center in the slot for Keeper again off his skate. Rebound shot just wide by Caracas. Now set on the doorstep. Schaefer can't freeze it. Jay Lindsay playing it up the far side. Justice can't get it out. And the Bears put the pressure on. This is Caracas in the high slot. Stopped at the blue line. Jason Christensen with a blast up high, and it's gloved by Schaefer. White Bear Lake leading 1-0 and pressuring. With a break in the action, we'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Better Highline presents Minnesota's largest home improvement and patio show, Wednesday, March 8th through Sunday the 12th at the St. Paul Civic Center. The Home Improvement and Patio Show. Don't miss it.
All right, now, look at this big chance here for White Bear Lake in this melee in front of the Edina net. One shot. The puck lies there. Set to be cleared. There's another shot goes awry. And finally, Edina clears.
Well, Nick Meyer would have had a goal there, but his stick hit Nick Kennedy's skate. He couldn't get really good wood on the puck because he had a wide open net. Now the puck stolen by Derek Wynn, and his centering pass is covered up in the crease by Schaefer.
Prior to that flurry, just before we went to commercial, Jason Christensen from the point hit a shot that was just a sizzler, and a great glove save by Schaefer. Big league save. It's all White Bear right now, and they lead 1-0.
2.5 minutes into the second period. Belloc from the point. Stick save by Schaefer. Edina pinned back in their own end, trying to work it up the boards. They do to Jay Chapman, and he finally pushes at the center with Vandertop breaking out. Vandertop 2-on-1 left side. Justice shoots. Saved by Peck, and he holds on as he snuffs Chris Justice from point-blank range.
Vandertop with a great feed to Justice, but Justice could not beat Peck. Watch it. It's coming up right now. Vandertop now to Justice. The shot, the save by Peck.
There's the biggest note on Brian Peck. An amazing stat. Now a shot from the point, deflected en route. Peck stays with it. And finally the Bears push it ahead and clear to center. Here's Andy Peterson breaking through. Peterson trying to go through the defense is muscled off the play, and the Hornets clear it. Chad Norman sends it back in for the Bears. Schaefer holding it up behind his net. Edina coming up the wing with it. Dan Plont ahead for Nevers. Too far off his stick and dumped back to center. Here's Andy Peterson. He takes a hit by Hoekstra at the red line. Edina trying to throw some weight around a bit now. After surviving this early onslaught by White Bear Lake, the Bears leading it 1-0. Pressured and had good chances to make it more. Out of center ice they come, but it's sent right back by Greg Chapman. Up the left side for Jeff Maas. He can't clear it out. Kept in at the blue line by Chapman. Now it's sent back down to the Edina end. Nick Meyer chasing back for it with Terwilliger. Terwilliger, the Edina defenseman, playing with that bad left shoulder. He can barely move his left arm. If you watch him out there now, puck given away. Here's Noel Ron, bumped from behind nicely by Troy Davis of White Bear, so he couldn't get a shot off. Now Ron with it again, wheeling as the puck taken away by Davis. A penalty is coming up here in front of the White Bear Lake net, and that's going to give Edina its first power play opportunity of the game with the score. White Bear Lake 1, Edina nothing. This is Hockey 89 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
The Chevy S10 long bed features an optional 4.3-liter Vortec V6, independent front suspension, and, of course, a longer, wider bed than Ford, all of which makes it possible to haul home lots and lots of groceries, which means S10 is the perfect truck to have when you've got a hungry family to feed.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevy truck.
All right, here's the penalty now. Check it out. You can see the trip. And Gorowski's gone. 1-0. White Bear. Edina on the power play. They'll drop the puck to the left of Peck. The White Bear goalie now as we resume here.
Gorowski, the penalty at 4:28 for interference. Noel Ron getting the draw back to Jay Lindsay. He throws it in front of the net, and Jason Christensen sends it down the length of the ice for Edina. Hornets 1 for 3 on the power play yesterday, and here they come back with Henniker, Ron, Nevers, Chapman, and Lindsay playing the points. And White Bear using Dan Wright and Chuck Duber up front to kill the first part of the penalty. Now Noel Ron gathering up a head of steam through center. Ron getting some room now to bring it in the zone. Wraps it around for Henniker. Henniker fighting with Brian Johnson up the near side, and the defenseman did not pinch, and White Bear Lake clears it. Chapman had a chance to come in and keep that puck, but he held his ground and enabled White Bear to clear it. 1:10 on the penalty. Here's Nevers. Nevers down. Nevers trying to swat it in front, and Peck falls on it. With 1:02 on the power play.
Nevers with one of his patented rushes. But he was moved too far to the right of the net. We'll get a replay on that now. You can see Nevers coming down the left side on the left wing. Going to his backhand now. Gets in a little too far, falls, but still tries to jam the puck by Beck, but he freezes it up against the post.
Now Nevers to take this draw to the right side of the White Bear goal. And here's the shot by Dan Plant that sails high over the net. Sent back for Chapman at the point, poked at by Maas, and he pokes it outside the zone. Hoekstra, Nevers, and Plant, the up front line now for Edina. This is Dan Plant coming down. Plant circles the cage. 40 seconds on the man advantage. Has a cutter in the slot. It's tipped toward the net and broken up and cleared by Nick Kennedy's spearing attempt in front.
Edina trying to break that man open in the slot, and the White Bear's not allowing him to do it as Nevers breaks it out.
20 seconds on the man advantage. Plant to the slot, sticked away by Maas, kept in by Kennedy. This will be Josh Hoekstra trying to lead it for Plant. Kept in blue line, and now poke checked away again by Maas, doing a nice job on this penalty. The penalty's just about up, and Maas steals the puck. Maas coming in, and coming over from the other side was John Peterson to break it up. Meanwhile, the penalty is over, and White Bear Lake is at full strength. Here's Hoekstra blasting high over the net. Plant will play it far side. He's checked hard into the boards. Nevers picks it up. Nevers, nice pivot. Another nice move, trying to stuff it short side. Sticked away by Peck. The far side, Nick Meyer. He can't clear it out. Kept in by Plant. Here's Nevers shooting, and he misses high and wide on a quick snapping wrist shot.
Edina putting on great pressure now. They've really got their forechecking game going, Ted.
And right now, White Bear Lake needing a play stoppage to make a change. It's centered in the slot. The Bears finally get it and clear it. Maz gets it out to center ice. But Maz needs to get off the ice. He's been out there a long time. Here's a break, a shot, and a save off the shot by Chris Lindell. And finally, it's cleared up and out of play, which gives us a break. 7:38 to go, second period. White Bear Lake leads 1-0. This is Hockey 89, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
When you've applied for a loan, the first thing you want is a fast answer. The last thing you want is to wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. Escape to TCF. We'll give you an answer in 8 hours on all kinds of loans.
We have a 1-0 hockey game with White Bear leading Edina, second period, 7:38 left.
And a face-off to the left side of Brian Peck. Chris Lindell out there, fourth line now for Edina. They use four, Lindell, Garvin, and Hardy. But it's broken out by Troy Davis for White Bear. Pushed ahead into the Edina zone. Drop back to the blue line. Brian Johnson sails a shot high and wide. Will Anderson chasing to the far side is bumped off the puck. And it comes to center where the Hornets push it ahead. Peck dumps it to the near side for Troy Davis. Around the far side to Will Anderson. He can't clear it out. Hops a stick, and Caracas does get it to center. Now it's picked up by the Bears again. Anderson carries in before he's knocked down. But Troy Davis will get the puck first, near corner, centering in front. Edina almost put it in their own net as Chad Lindell almost steered that puck into his own cage. Here's John Peterson feeding for Hardy over his stick. Hardy takes the check from Jason Christensen. Puck worked free. The Hornets come, centering pass blocked. Garvin wheels around. Quick shot and a save by Peck. And on the near side, battle on the boards, and it comes to Troy Davis, and he clears it to center.
Boy, Chris Garvin had an excellent chance there. Nice save by Peck, who's really on his game.
Jay Lindsay with a good hit, knocking Will Anderson off the puck. 6:15 to go in the second period. White Bear Lake leading 1-0 on a first period goal by Chris Clausen. Now Terwilliger for the Hornets, ahead up the boards to center, streaking forward is Garvin, but Chad Norman beats him to the play. The Hornets change up their forward line as White Bear Lake plays it in their own end. Put right on the stick of Ron. The blast is high and over the net. Edina missing the net on a lot of shots.
Ron has got a gun.
In front, shot tipped and deflected wide off the stick of Matt Cronin. Now played in the near corner up along the boards. And keeper trying to get it out. Kept in by Henniker at the blue line. And Ron will go back and chase it with Brian Johnson of White Bear Lake. Ron bumps him off the play. And finally, Wynn comes back to help and clear to center for White Bear. 5:20 to play in the period. And Ron trying to center in front. Henniker with a flip blocked in the crease. Now Cronin runs into Henniker as the puck comes to the near corner. And finally it's cleared by the Bears to center. And now down to the Edina end. Back to play it, Nick Kennedy. The Bears making a change. Puck kept in at the blue line, sent towards the goal. Batted in the crease. A shot and a save by Schaefer as Nick Meyer had a good whack at a bouncing puck.
Nick Myers had more chances this afternoon than anybody on this rink. And he's been robbed at least 3 times by Schaefer. And on another chance, he shot over the net. You get a look at it now. Nick Meyer coming in, right down a slot. There's the feed. Here's the shot and a great kick save by goalie Schaefer of Edina. Looked like a sure goal there.
That's a tough shot, too, to hit that bouncing puck like that. And he got good wood on it. Sent in down now behind the White Bear net and cleared right out into the crease. Sticked away by Peck, and in front, a shot by Dan Plott just goes wide. Sent back through the crease again, and a save by Peck as he steers to the near side. Stolen by Tom Nevers. His blast deflected in front. Hoekstra follows up through the crease. And Edina starting to turn up the juices again. This is Plant behind the net, trying to drop for Nevers. It's broken up. Andy Peterson tied up. White Bear clears the center. And now an offside called on Edina. A break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
March Madness means two things: exciting action on the ice and winter weather outside. For complete weather updates throughout the tournament, turn to Weather Center 4, keeping you ahead of the storm.
The big guys now for Edina. Noel Ron, Tommy Nevers, Plant turning up the heat as they try to get the equalizer. White Bear leads 1-0 over Edina. Second period, 4 minutes left.
Vandertop, Justice, and Jay Chapman the line for Edina. The Caracas line out for White Bear. Behind the Hornets net. Puck slapped up the near side. White Bear will keep it in. Caracas swatting it. Chuck Duberson's behind the cage. Nick Kennedy playing for Edina. Kept in blue line and sent right back. Dan Wright will play it. Hit hard into the boards there by Greg Chapman. And they freeze it for a face-off now in the Edina zone to the right side of goalie Schaefer, who has fared well, I would say, Steve, in this rare start, just his 4th game this year.
Actually, the goal by Clausen at the 4:06 mark of the initial period was almost a fluke.
Now it's sent back at the blue line. The blast by Belloc goes just wide. Schaefer may have had a stick on it. Borowski sends it back behind the cage. Duber trying to center. Is bumped into the boards by Kennedy. Vandertop is there. Now worked free by Caracas back at the blue line. Shot deflected in front. Schaefer doesn't know where it is. Loose puck is cleared. Kept in at the blue line. Up, kicked to center now by Jay Chapman. At the blue line, a pass off the stick of Justice. Borowski chasing it back for White Bear. And Duber works it free. Now he's pinned by Vandertop. Puck comes out in the slot. Onto a stick. Shot is blocked in front. Shot by Cronin. Now it's played by Vandertop centering. Cronin knocks it down with the glove. Plays it himself. And Peck falls on the loose puck. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Like most people, we've always known that life is more worthwhile if you have your own television show.
And we just hope that Sports Friday with Stretch and Z can play some small part in bringing about world peace.
Or, better yet, get good ratings.
Friday nights at 7:30 on Midwest Sports Channel.
Check the save here now by goalie Schaefer. Hits his toe. Can't find it. Where is it? Finally, it's cleared off to the side.
Noel Ron wins the draw. Shot from the point by Chad Lindell goes wide. Played on the near side now. Ron looking to center. Cronin comes in to play it. Cronin now throws it in the slot. Knocked down by Jason Christensen. He took his time, though, and Ron came right back in, picks his pocket, pushes it to the far side. And finally, it's worked up the far side and out to center by White Bear with 2:20 remaining second period. And White Bear still leading this game 1-0. Now here comes Edina. To center comes John Peterson. Veering to the far side where Christensen rides him off the play, but Ron is there to pick up the puck. Derek Wynn looking for it. Now here is Ron looking to center for Henniker, and he can't. And finally, it is pushed to center by Troy Davis for the Bears. And he sends it down. Hit the linesman is played by Edina. Back come the Hornets. Ron again. He's been out a long time on this ship. Leading left side for Hoekstra, looking to center, whips. Now does, and it's off Plant's stick. Back to the blue line, a blast. It's a score! White Bear claiming it was deflected with a high stick. We'll see a replay, and I believe it was Josh Hoekstra that deflects that goal in to tie the game with 1:36 to play in the period.
Both goals tonight, or rather this afternoon, have been of the tip variety. Here it is now. Let's see if it's Hoekstra. There's the shot. It was not tipped, I don't think. I think it was just a screen. What do you think, Ted?
Well, it hit something because it went down. I don't know if it hit his elbow, if it hit the stick. Let's see it from this angle. Yeah, it hit Hoekstra.
Yeah, it did. And it was shot by Plant. Hoekstra gets the goal, and it's a 1-1 hockey game.
Hoekstra tipping in the blast from Chad Lindell. Dan Flont also assisting. So we are tied at 1 late in the second period of this consolation semifinal. Sophomore Josh Hoekstra with the goal. Now Edina stealing the puck. Here's Tom Nevers. Nevers wheels by a man, comes right in front and goes just wide through the crease. What an effort by Nevers again. Now back comes Andy Peterson through. Moz trying to come in, and a sweeping stick check by Plott to knock the puck away. To the far side, it's Hoekstra. Dropping it, lofted ahead to center. Nevers chasing it down the far side. Nevers has trailers. Now throws it on net instead. Peck steers it away. Plott comes back to Nevers in the slot. Nevers shooting. It's blocked by the defense. And back comes Andy Peterson. Right side to Nick Meyer. Meyer being watched by Terwilliger, playing one-armed in that. Look at how Terwilliger played that puck there with one arm. He cannot use his left arm. In the White Bear zone, a wheel and a centering attempt by Chad Hardy is broken up. And now Brian Johnson clears at 25 seconds left in the period. Nick Kennedy behind his goal. Up the right side to Garvin. At center, Chad Hardy. Sticked away by Jason Christensen. 12 seconds. Here is Moz down the far side. Burst of speed. He cuts in front. And a save by Schaefer. Rebound and a save on the attempt by Duber with 4 seconds. And it was Caracas, Craig Caracas, who had the initial shot. And boy, were they robbed there by Schaefer.
All right, here it is again now with Caracas. And a stop by Schaefer. And another shot there by Chuck Duber. And Schaefer equal to the task. Great goaltending out here, both ends. Peck and Schaefer. 1-1 hockey game, final 4 seconds, middle period.
That was the first real burst of speed we've seen Caracas be able to use in the tournament. An excellent play to get around the defender.
His father was a goaltender for the University of Minnesota for 1 year. His great-grandfather, well, his grandfather also was a goaltender. They got all sorts of goaltenders in that family. They're out of Evelyn.
That's right. His dad was the goaltender for Evelyn in the 50s. Caracas' family now lives in Omaha. They're here to watch as the period comes to an end off that face-off in the Edina zone. And so we are done with 2 periods now in our first consolation semifinal, and the play really picked up in the second period as White Bear Lake had 14 shots in that period. Edina had 10, so the pace of play did pick up a great deal, but Edina's Josh Hoekstra gets the only goal of the period, tipping in a Chad Lindell shot, and so we are tied at 1 after 2 periods.
I'm really impressed with White Bear Lake. Certainly not intimidated by the great reputation of Edina. They come out here, they play very physical. Very physical. They're on the puck at all times. Although I thought Edina really started to come there in the last 6-7 minutes. Be interesting to see now whether or not the impetus of the game will stay in Edina's favor. We'll find that out when we start the third period.
It's interesting, both periods, White Bear Lake is in the better of play early, and Edina has come on in the latter portions of the period. But White Bear looks to be doing to Edina what Denfeld did to White Bear yesterday. Good forechecking and pinning them back in their own end.
Okay, the man to watch in that next period for White Bear Lake is Meyer. He's been robbed a couple of times. I'll look for him maybe to get a goal in the third period.
All right, 1-1 after 2, and let's go down now to sports control.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. These consolation games, Ralph, always said to be meaningless, but I think we saw otherwise towards the end of that second period. Exciting.
Yeah, they're cranking it up a little bit. I think goalie Mike Schaefer of Edina really held the Hornets in there quite a bit of that period, and a lot of credit has to go to Brian Peck for White Bear Lake, too. Outstanding goalkeeping for both clubs. And we're going to take a look at the saves a little bit later on. It'll be interesting to see those as we take a look at that.
Well, this is Hockey 89, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Just announced a buy now blockbuster from Chevrolet. 4.9 financing on many of Chevy's most popular cars and trucks. A Chevy blockbuster rate, 4.9, or choose cash back. Hurry, it won't last forever. It's your choice. Cash back or financing as low as 4.9 from Chevrolet. No matter which you choose, it's a buy now Chevy blockbuster. 4.9, now's the time at your local Heartland Chevy dealers. Hurry.
Here's some news the Noid won't like. Domino's Pan Pizza. Thick, chewy crust smothered with cheese and toppings and delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Sorry, noise. Call for Domino's Pan Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Big news from Domino's Pan Pizza. Call for our Pan Pizza meal deal. A pan pizza with 2 toppings and 2 servings of Coke, just $8.95 plus tax. Call your participating Domino's Pizza store today. 10,000 auto parts stores guarantee you'll save on the quality auto parts you need and want. Great savings on Motorcraft 10W30 and 10W40 motor oil, just 89 cents. Motorcraft spark plugs, now just 54 cents. Resistor type, just 64 cents after rebate. Also, stock up on quality Motorcraft FL1A oil filters, sale price now at $2.44. Available at all 10,000 auto parts stores. You'll save on quality auto parts. We guarantee it.
Did you know you can brew more brew here than in Milwaukee? Because NSP electric rates are lower than Milwaukee's. You can light more bright lights here than Hollywood. Because our electricity costs 17% less. You get more wind here than even Chicago, because NSP rates are 37% less. In fact, our rates are among the country's lowest, and that's a good place to be. Creative energy, NSP.
We are back at the St. Paul Civic Center. Ralph John Fritz along with Tom Hanneman. We're 1-1, White Bear Lake and Edina consolation play here after 2 periods of play. And Tom, we were kind of looking for just exactly what was it that made Edina so different from the sectional play. And actually, they're just starting now, the end of the second period, to make those 1, 2, 3 passes. I'm not so sure if I even saw the tip here on the replay, but this was the goal by Edina. Josh Hoekstra gets it, number 21 on the tip in from the shot by Chad Lindell.
Mike Schaefer, Edina's goaltender, has done an outstanding job in the second period. Here we see him shutting down Nick Meyer. White Bear Lake certainly kept the Hornets in the game there early and towards the end of the second period, Ralph.
And Brian Peck, who plays 99.9% of the time for White Bear Lake, came up with some outstanding saves of his own. And here he's stopping Chris Justice of the Hornets right there, dead blank. Okay, there we are. 14 saves for Schaefer in that period for Edina, and White Bear Lake's Peck had 9, a total of 14. Schaefer has 19 after 2 periods.
We have the proverbial barn burner, Ralph. 1-1 after 2 periods.
And this is consolation play. Of course, later on, we have Rochester John Marshall against Duluth Denfeld. That our final afternoon game. Live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing coverage of the 1989 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Quality Lennox dealers. Since 1895, serving America's families with pride, commitment, value. Knowledgeable, skilled technicians. Professional service. Dependable, affordable year-round comfort. Today, the tradition continues.
See your Lennox dealer about a new Lennox air conditioning and heating system and get up to $400 cash back.
Your local Lennox dealer. Quality proven over time. Attaboy, Dave.
Panasonic video. All on sale. 3 days only. At Best Buy. Panasonic televisions and VCR. Panasonic camcorders. All on sale. Thursday through Saturday. Best Buy's 3-day video sale. Top name brands on sale at Best Buy.
Get reliable help around the house with electrical products from True Value hardware stores. Like the 48-inch shop light by American Fluorescent for just $8.88. Improved connections with this Electropack 7-outlet center, only $5.99. The Master Electrician 25-foot trouble light with circuit breaker is just $9.99. And the heavy-duty TrueGuard plug-in timer is only $5.49 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Used to be, when investors got into the stock market, they could almost plan on things going one way. But unfortunately, things don't always come out as planned. So if you're looking for an investment you can count on, come to TCF for a variety of insured savings plans that offer a guaranteed rate and keep yourself well covered.
Well, at Edina, they say Ike is dynamite. Willard Eichela's record would support that theory. 31-season winningest coach in Minnesota history. A former Olympian himself. Need we say more?
Where it's at, guys.
Let's go about 10 minutes, guys.
Hey, working 4 months for this one game now, so let's get the job done.
It's minutes before the start of the last game of the season. Edina and Minnetonka skate for the Lake Conference title. Coach Eichela spends a quiet moment alone outside the locker room.
You know, it's not in your hands anymore. You know how that goes. You just, you know, you work and practice and hope that they're ready to play. And once the puck drops, it's up to the players. Yeah, here we go.
Heads up! For 31 seasons through 31 teams, the man they call Ike has coached his boys onto more wins than any other coach in Minnesota history.
All right, Whites. All right, it's a little better. Come on, gang.
It's a winning legacy that began at age 5 when Ike first strapped on skates in his hometown, Evelyn. From there, he went to win state and NCAA championships, an early career that took him to the Olympics, where he led his team to a silver medal in the Winter Games. From there, he went to Edina as head coach.
What's he doing? Come on, Nick!
But winning never comes easy, despite almost 600 of them on Eichela's scorecard. Today, Edina is down by 2 points by the end of the first period. Between periods, Ike spends a tense moment alone before facing his team.
Seems like we just kind of, you know, cuffed up the puck twice. Can't help them that way. Oh, we gotta talk to you.
Inside the locker room, the young men know exactly what Ike is thinking and feeling. A silent understanding between coach and player.
Guys, it demands a lot of perfection, as much as possible. So it's good to have us.
All right, come on, gang. Now, come on. Come on, well, I think we had a little advantage on them, and we ended up behind. Copped up the puck in our end. You can't do that.
Get it away, guys. Go.
Gotta get one out. Oh, hey!
From across the arena, Ike is a fixture for the fans. Fans certain he can turn the game around.
He's a great coach. I mean, our Edina wouldn't have done so well for so many years in hockey.
All right, we're back in it, gang. We're back in it now.
His dusty $7 hat is his lucky charm, part of the character that has endeared him to the fans.
Yeah, he's cute. He's got pudgy cheeks.
Ike is dynamite. Ike is dynamite. You don't mess with Ike tonight. You don't mess with Ike tonight.
It's the third period. Edina comes from behind and ties the game. But toward the players, Ike is unfazed, a crusty veneer as thin as the ice upon which they skate.
Hey, watch your sticks! You're gonna kill me. All right, sit down. We gotta get one more yet, gang. We gotta get one more.
Overtime, sudden death, the chance to end the season in victory or go home losers to their crosstown rival.
Whites will go, Blues will be next. Right away, Mike. No, let's go right away. We'll get it right away. What a win! What a win! God darn it! God, hell of a game. That was a great hockey. That was a big one. Jeez, that's a comeback. You better believe it. That's why a guy wants to be a coach when you win. That's great. He doesn't get old at all. No way.
You never get tired of winning. Willard Eichel, a great coach, terrific guy, and obviously Don Shelby did a nice job, but he is a basketball fan. They were down by 2 goals, not 2 points. Sorry, Don. Red Wing, Minnesota is home to a small company that has a lot to do with hockey in this country. The Rydell Shoe Company makes skates and has been doing so since the 1940s. It's the only American skate maker, and its employees say they make the best. Photographer Lloyd Gottschalk visited the plant to show us what goes into a great skate. Mike Strand now brings us that story.
The excitement of a hockey game begins long before the puck is dropped. In Red Wing, it starts with a stitch. Rydell Shoes began making skates back in 1945. They produced 6 pairs. Today, they turn out 200,000. In a hockey-crazed state like Minnesota, it seems only fitting that the only American skate manufacturer is located here, a fact the 135 employees are proud of.
Well, I think all the Rydell employees take pride in what they're doing, and I think they put out a real good hockey skate.
The skate-making process begins with a piece of leather.
These are the quarters. These are the tongues. And this is the back skate.
Now the heavy-duty construction begins. The process you're seeing in 10 seconds takes 3 weeks in reality, and this is the point at which shoemaking becomes skate making. The skate is made and ready to be shipped, and the plant manager is confident his team has done its best.
Wherever we go and the name Rydell comes up, I think and many times you'll hear, well, we've heard of Rydell. We stand for high-quality footwear. And, of course, that makes us look good, I guess.
So much work went into making skates. You still got those double blade strap-ons to your shoes, right?
As a matter of fact, I needed them to get here from the hotel today. Live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing coverage of the 1989 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
Okay, look, I like my steaks very well done. What most people call ruined, I call perfect. I know it's not popular, and if I weren't 6'9", I'd catch a lot of flack.
I got a taste for some real food.
I heard Larry Bird likes well-done steaks, so maybe I'll invite him over for a couple of sirloins. Nice, rare sirloins. I got you, Larry. I got you.
I've got a taste for some real food.
I'm the guy the engineers always come to when they think they've got it right. So when Brian asked me to check out their new Reliant air conditioner, I said, you bet. And now for the toughest test of all, the Jaeger test.
Now get preseason savings on the air conditioning everyone wants. Save up to $500. Call Wenzel Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate. But hurry, prices this low won't last forever.
Not bad. Let's take this baby up to Mach 3.
He's got the puck. He takes a shot. He scores!
Power.
He's got the puck. He takes a shot. What a save!
Performance. Power and performance is yours with the Bending Branches hockey stick, the hottest stick on ice. Ask your dealer for Bending Branches. Made in the USA, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Get the power with the hottest stick on ice, Bending Branches hockey sticks.
Hi, I'm Alan Anderson. You're watching Channel 4, the Twin Station.
Back at the Civic Center, consolation play 1-1 after 2, White Bear Lake and Edina. Let's find a winner. Let's go back to Ted and Steve.
All right, Ralph and Tom, thank you. We're set to go after a very good second period. The tempo of the game picked up a great deal. And now we go to the third period, tied at 1. The puck shot in behind Peck in the White Bear Lake net. Sent around to the near side, and Nick Meyer will work at the center. Off the stick of Andy Peterson down to the Edina end, and that's an icing call, so we'll come back after 15 seconds and drop it in the White Bear Lake end.
I don't think that these teams are going to play it close and conservative in this third period. This is for consolation, and I think they're going to really open up. I look for Edina to throw in a couple of forecheckers deep. Have the defenseman pinching in. I think White Bear Lake's going to do the same thing. I think we're going to see a wide open period, hopefully.
And if that were the case, we wouldn't have a repeat of that 56 double overtime.
No.
Kennedy off the draw with a blast glove by Peck, and he hangs on.
We have a 1-1 hockey game. If you just joined us, White Bear Lake led up to 1-1. Nothing going to go by Clausen. And then Hoekstra tied it for Edina in the winning moments of the second period. We've just begun the third period.
We played a good period. Another face-off. Ron really using his body as leverage to try and get that puck back to the point. Loose near side. Henniker feeding Ron, who can't get it to the front of the net. And here comes White Bear Lake. Through center ice. A shot and a save. The rebound out in front. And it was Moz that could not get his stick down as he was tied up, and he slid heavily into the end boards. Ellock with that shot. And here comes Edina up the near side. Henniker can't clear it out. Christensen keeping it in, and now it's sent to center by Jay Lindsay. Here comes Ron down the near side. Hit down, checked nicely by Jason Christensen. Ron poking it ahead for Henniker, but he can't get a pass off. It's spun around to the far side. Now back behind the goal is Belloc. Ron takes it away, looks for a centerman. Can't find it. Now throws it in front, steered away by Peck right on the stick. But a shot was blocked in front. Here is Hoekstra sending it back at the point for Terwilliger, who can't shoot. Return for Hoekstra. Behind the net. Ron taking a bump. Now Ron sends it up the near side. Plante off the bench, plays it. Can't get a shot off. And finally the Bears clear it. Nick Meyer stood up at the blue line by Terwilliger. Ahead, here comes Tom Nevers, 2-on-2 with Plante, but a good stick check. And it was Brian Johnson sending the puck out to center. Now Moz carrying it down to the Edina end, hit hard by Terwilliger. And a flatten check there by Wright as he knocked the Edina play over, and back comes Nevers 2-on-2. Nevers veering right. Nevers putting on the burst, trying to center for Hoekstra, broken up by the sliding Brian Johnson. Now wrapping around behind the net, sent in front, and Peck watching the play alertly. On that centering feed by Plante, covers up and hangs on.
Take a look here now how White Bear Lake is defending the big players as Christensen knocks down Noel Ron. White Bear has been playing the body beautifully throughout this game. Edina forcing the issue, however, here in this third period. It's a 1-1 hockey game.
Now it's Craig Karakas and Chad Vandertop on this draw. To the right of the White Bear Lake goal. And it's played here by Vandertop. Quick shot, pad save. At the blue line, kept in nicely by Peterson. His shot can't get through traffic. Chapman follows up with a blast wide. And finally, Duber clears it ahead. Now it's Vandertop coming back 1-on-3, waiting for help. Dragging the puck nicely to kill some time. And Vandertop still with it, playing behind the net. Jay Chapman now circling, centering in front for Justice, who is tied up. And Chuck Duber clears it ahead. Karakas chipping it into the Edina zone, swatting at it with Peterson. Now it's Duber centering in front, nobody there. And to the far side now, the Hornets push it up along the boards, but Karakas keeps it in. Now it's behind to the right side of the Edina net, and now pushed up the boards and out to center by Jay Chapman. 3 minutes, 10 seconds gone in the third period of a 1-1 tie in this consolation semifinal. Loose puck now, left side at center ice. Coming in with it, White Bear pushed ahead for Derek Wynn. He's bumped off the play by Chad Lindell. Wound around to the near side. Hornets there first. And backhanding it to center ice is Henniker. Henniker, Ron, and Cronin the line for Edina. Henniker with the puck. Now to Noel Ron. He's coming 2-on-4. Steered away with the blocker pad by Peck. Ron there first. Puts it in front. Puck hops over a stick. And finally to the far side, Wynn has it for White Bear. Edina with a little bit the better of play here in the early moments of the third period. Trying to extend their season. The loser of this game goes home. Their season is done. The winner plays the Consolation Championship at noon tomorrow. Now the puck thrown carelessly. Andy Peterson shot on save. Schaefer rebound in front. And Clausen was too close to the goaltender and stuffed it right into his pads. And then Edina ices the puck. We played over 4 minutes. We're tied at 1 in the third period, and this is Hockey 89 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
You need a good hot meal.
Don't forget your vegetables. Cut your meat before you eat.
A complete meal is very important.
Now, how about some pie?
Baker's Square presents 3 stir-fry main meals even a mother could love, topped off by the pie everyone loves. Baker's Square stir-fry main meals for lunch or dinner. Come try one, or we'll tell your mom.
No dinner, no pie.
We're going to drop the puck now to the left of the Edina goaltender.
We played 4 minutes, 20 seconds in this third period. They will play to a conclusion in what is now a 1-1 tie. Dump back now into the White Bear Lake end. Moss was back for it. Now ahead, here comes Nick Meyer and Andy Peterson playing give and go. Meyer circles the cage, puts it in front to Williger, knocked it, and it was flipped on net by Moss, and Schaefer made a save and hangs on.
Crowd thought it was a quick whistle. I might tend to agree there, as Moss had a pretty good shot. We're going to have a replay of this now, and you'll get a look at it. Schaefer going down to his knees now as the puck comes in, and he just can't get it with his blocker, with his glove. There's another shot by Moss, but Schaefer turns him aside.
Off the draw, quick shot is deflected wide. White Bear Lake trying to keep the pressure on. Now it's worked free by Chad Lindell, and he clears the center. Here comes Edina, right side. It's Nevers breaking and circling the cage, and he lost control as he tried for the wraparound. In front, a pass for Plante is broken up. Kept in by Nevers. Nevers dropping for Plante just behind him, and Peterson chips it down into the Edina end.
I hate those drop passes. I really hate them.
Now here comes Hoekstra, the goal scorer for Edina. In the middle, Nevers throws it to the net for Plante behind him. And to the far side, it's played by Chad Norman, and he gets it out to center. Play beginning to reverse. Oh, there's a big check at the blue line by Jason Harvey of White Bear Lake. The Edina player Plante is fine. We have a break in the action, and we'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Getting bogged down in financing can put the home of your dreams out of your reach. Now there's help. Realty World and TCF.
A big league hit was put on Plante of Edina by Jason Harvey just before we went to that commercial. I hope you saw that. Some big rugged hits out here this afternoon. 1-1 hockey game, third period.
And Edina beginning to reverse the territorial play here. A little bit more of the game being played in the White Bear Lake end. Now the Bears try to break out. Duber trying to find Caracas in the middle. It was broken up. And now it's played ahead. Chris Lindell for Edina can't get it in the zone. Then he knocks Caracas down at center. Finally played by Greg Chapman for Edina. Chapman hitting to the boards far side. Still battling for the puck, and finally White Bear comes away with it. Pass thrown through the slot. Duber runs it down in the near corner. Chuck Duber is hit by Greg Chapman. Caracas back there along with Chris Lindell, and they'll freeze it in the Edina end with 8:34 remaining in the third period.
Take a look now at how Caracas gets tied up by Edina in behind the net. Go up in front. Playing him real tight up in front. Knocking him down. Both clubs playing very physical right now in this 1-1 hockey game.
Well, Caracas saw that all day yesterday. Denfeld, an excellent checking job. Really played Caracas and his line very well. Now playing the Edina end. Derek Wynn trying to reach for a centering pass. Just hopped over his stick. Kept in by Christensen. Down deep. This is Will Anderson circling the cage. Anderson looking, nobody in front. And the Edina is able to poke the puck away. And the Hornets come out with Noel Oran on the right wing offside as they cross the White Bear line.
Ron sure is a good-looking hockey player. Noel is committed to the University of Wisconsin. He's moved it up a notch here in the last 2 periods. I'd like to see Nevers, who's a great hockey player, pass a little bit more, not hold on to the puck as long. That's the only knock that the experts have put on Tommy.
Derek Wynn wins the draw from Ron. White Bear moving it ahead now through center. And it's shot into the Edina end. To go under 8 minutes to play in the 3rd period. Derek Wynn on the far side. Troy Davis with a hit. And the puck, though, is moved to center. And shot back in by Jason Christensen. Chad Lindell with it behind the Edina net up to Henniker. Henniker's clearing pass, batted away. Christensen keeps it in. Now Lindell gets it back and starts out Cronin to center. Onto the stick of Henniker. Across the line, Cronin trying to push it in closer, and it's taken away. Cleared to the line, but kept in by Henniker. Flipping in front, knocked down, kept in again by Ron. And Ron's play here enables Edina to make a change, and now Hoekstra is not able to keep the puck in. It's 1-1. We have a break in the action, and we'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Domino's Pizza. Try our new pan pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly, and you're watching Channel 4, the Twin Station.
Snowy afternoon outside here in the Civic Center. A hotly contested contest. Edina won, White Bear won. 3rd period.
And all things considered, with the weather, the stands have filled up quite nicely.
That's true.
This consolation game has progressed. After this, Rochester John Marshall and Duluth Denfeld in the first championship semifinal.
How do you like that one, Teddy?
I must admit that I really liked Denfeld yesterday, and I didn't pay as much attention to the John Marshall Edina game. But I thought Denfeld played very well. And a good goaltender. Did
you see the move I made on that coffee?
Yes, that was adept.
I spilled it all over everything here.
I was back into the White Bear zone now as we go under 7 minutes in the 3rd period. Still tied at 1. Now it's worked free to Nick Meyer. Meyer streaking too quickly on the left side was Jeff Maas, and it's offside White Bear.
I like this. I mentioned trying to wipe up my coffee here. Nick Meyer. This man has got a lot of talent. Real lot of talent.
Now, White Bear Lake is not, and you know, some of the scouting reports coming in, this really was heavy on the Caracas line, but the Peterson, Maas, Meyer line has played very well in these 2 days of the tournament thus far. They're not just a one-line team.
No.
All right, moving through center now. Here comes Nevers with Hoekstra on the left. Hoek checked away by Chad Norman. Nevers gets it back blue line. Shot by Chapman. Save. Rebound in front, and Hoekstra could not get it over the goalie. And we get some stick swinging. We get a couple of gloves swung. And 2 players go down in front. And it's, I believe, no, it's Brian Johnson of White Bear and Chad Hoekstra, who will, I'm sure, both be escorted off the ice.
I'll tell you, that Peck's one heck of a goalie. There were some big chances out there for Edina. They couldn't put the puck away.
So we'll have coincidental minors. That's with 6:23 to play in the 3rd period. We are tied at 1, and this is Hockey 89 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Good stuff.
Low prices.
Good stuff.
Low prices.
Good prices.
And good stuff.
Can't beat that.
Brian Johnson has been injured. White Bear lad being attended to by the trainer right in front of the White Bear net. Just prior to that injury, Edina had a big flurry in front of the net, and Hoekstra had a real big chance. Take a look at it right now as we replay it for you. There's Hoekstra to the backhand, one shot, tees it up again, another shot. Peck falls on the butt. Now Hoekstra slashes, and Brian Johnson takes umbrage at this. They go down in a heap, and Johnson was injured. And it looks to be like he's all right now. I don't know exactly what happened to him, but he's coming off the ice rather slowly and skating rather gingerly.
Well, he got a painful slash from Hoekstra right down the lower part of his left leg.
Oh, that's what it was, huh?
Yeah, he got whacked pretty good there. He took umbrage with Hoekstra kind of whacking at the goaltender. He got whacked himself.
Yeah. Well, they're tending to him now. Brian Johnson off for roughing, Hoekstra off for roughing or slashing. One of the two, both committing heinous offense. Here's the replay again. Here's Hoekstra, one stop by Peck by the pads. Now he covers up. Now right watch Hoekstra there. Hoekstra slashing at the goalie. Johnson leaps on him, and then as Johnson goes down, I don't think he even realized he was hurt.
Yeah, he got probably a painful smack there on that left ankle.
Yeah.
So we'll play 4 skaters aside for 2 minutes.
This will open up the ice now, Ted. And you put Nevers out there immediately when you have this much ice, 4-on-4. And that's what Willard Eichler has done.
You see Jason Harvey going in, and I assume that's because Johnson may be injured, unable to come back out when his penalty expires, and White Bear's putting Harvey there if Johnson is unable to continue.
Craig Caracas, the big gunner for White Bear Lake, to take the draw against Nevers to the right of the White Bear goalie. Peck, 1-1 hockey game, 6:23 left, final period.
And again, even though this is the consolation round, this game is played to a conclusion. There will be overtime if necessary. Caracas dropping it, blast by Jason Christensen, right on. Schaefer held his ground and makes the stop. And back comes Nick Kennedy. In behind the White Bear Lake net. Winding around his Plot, centers through, nobody there for Edina. And the Bears come back. Again, it's 4-on-4 hockey for another minute and 30 seconds. A little more skating room, and it may be an advantage for the Nevers and the Caracases, the standout players. Here's Caracas reaching for a pass just over his stick at the blue line. In where Chapman winds it around to the far side for Edina, played by Chris Justice. Justice now with Nevers. It's 2-on-3. Nevers. And instead of shooting the puck, he tried to go by a defenseman, had it stick checked away. And here's Caracas. Caracas dancing through a couple of people. Centers in front. It was put on the Edina cage inadvertently by Peterson and stopped by Schaefer. Now Moss flipping it back to the blue line. Here's Gorowski with a shot through traffic. Got on net save. Rebound save in the slot, and Schaefer clears it away. And here's Vandertop back for Edina. 30 seconds remaining on the penalties. Vandertop looking to center. Held onto it and finally had it taken off his stick by Moss. Down to 4:45 remaining in the third period. And in behind the Edina net, Schaefer holding it up. 12 seconds on the penalties. And back through center comes Jay Lindsay, trying to go by Gorowski, who plays the puck to the far boards. Kept in by Henniker. In tight for Vandertop, who was checked. Penalties are over. Both teams at full strength. And the play is stopped deep in the White Bear Lake end with 4:18 remaining in the third period of a 1-1 game.
All right, let's go down to the White Bear offensive zone now. And we'll see some good chances here by White Bear. There's one. Almost eludes Schaefer. He throws it away with his stick. And we almost had this tie unknotted there. 1-1, 4:18 left in the third period. Edina, White Bear all knotted up here at the Civic.
And Noel Ron to take the draw against Andy Peterson. And cutting in alertly there was Maz to take that puck and move it to center. Now dumping it down to the Edina end, and that was an icing call. I believe in that crowd shot a moment ago, you saw Jackie Moe, who is, I believe, is she the girls' state tennis champion, Steve?
She is, and I played tennis with her father, Tommy Moe. He's an excellent tennis player. He's a former Gopher defensive and offensive end under Murray Warmath back in the 1950s. They'll drop the puck now to the left of Peck, the White Bear goaltender.
Peterson and Ron on the face-off again. Now Ron really turns his body around, gets it back to Lindsay at the point. Shot is steered wide. And on the near boards, Ron escapes with a puck in front. Backhander hit his skate, loose. Henniker's whacking at it. Ron comes out with it. Now throws it in front for Cronin, taking a shot up. Henniker does and scores! Mike Henniker puts Edina in front 2-1.
Well, Henniker was Johnny on the spot there, Ted, and he breaks this tie. A roofer is what he hit. As Peck went into the crouch, Henniker put it over his head, high in the cage. Here it is. Take a look now. Here's the replay. Now, here's the pass. Here's Henniker. Roofer. 2-1 Edina.
Just see Cronin actually whiffs on the shot as he's taken off by the defenseman. Henniker's got the open shot.
Yeah.
And this was Henniker by himself, and he just got it inside the pipe.
Henniker's been a money hockey player for this club all season long. He's a senior for the Hornets. And it's a 2-1 hockey game with 3:50 left. Edina leads. Let's see if they can protect this lead now.
Oh, Edina in front, looking to keep their season going, and White Bear Lake now in jeopardy of having theirs come to an end. And this is where Edina should excel. Such a strong defensive team, good positions and fundamentals. White Bear charging. The shot by Brian Johnson did not get through, blocked in front, and Henniker clears to center ice. Matt Cronin losing it at the blue line as Edina changes up. 3:20 remaining, and White Bear back. Now, there was Johnson losing the puck at the blue line to Ron. Edina trying to stand that blue line up. Peterson can't. Here's a quick shot blocked in front off the stick of Derek Wynn. And fighting for it is Clausen. Clausen is checked in the corner. Two players go down on the puck. 3 minutes exactly remaining, and we have a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Fans, don't despair. Even if you can't get down to Florida this year, you can watch us in spring training on Midwest Sports Channel, cable TV, home of the Minnesota Twins.
The goal by Henniker came at 11:10 to break this deadlock. Edina leading 2-1, clinging to that lead with exactly 3 minutes left as we drop the puck to the left of goalie Schaefer in the Edina end.
And it's Caracas, Wright, and Duber, the top line for White Bear out there, but Edina clears the center off the draw. Back is Belloc, his bank pass off the boards played by Nevers in the middle for Hoekstra, hopped his stick. White Bear needing to pressure as time is now running out on their season. Loose puck is played by Hoekstra, and he reverses it for Edina. On the right side, Dan Font taken down along the far boards.
Boy, that Hoekstra can play, and he's only a sophomore.
And now back comes White Bear. Nevers is hurt behind the play as he goes to the Edina bench. White Bear pushing the puck on net. Schaefer holds on, and behind the play, Tom Nevers, Edina's standout, going to the bench, doubled over in pain.
I didn't see what happened to him, did you?
He got checked on the far side as he brought that puck down into the White Bear zone, and something happened to Nevers. Now seated in the middle of the Edina bench. 2:23 remaining in the third period. 2-1 Edina.
On the Henniker goal, Cronin and Ron get assists.
Oh, nice play by Christensen, keeping that in at the blue line, but It was blocked in front by Greg Chapman on his shot. Now here's Chuck Duber putting one on net that's deflected wide. In the far corner, right center's in front, and it just hopped Duber's stick. Now in the far corner, Caracas running into Chris Garvin. Edina trying to push the puck up and out. White Bear pressuring. Out of the loose, whacking and scrambling for the puck, and finally it comes to the blue line. Christensen shooting, deflected. That might have hit the post as it went wide. Caracas trying to go back to the blue line. It's kept in there. In the slot, right is spun around. Caracas runs into Kennedy. Here is Wright shooting wide. Chasing it down to the near side. Duber keeps it in. A minute and a half remaining. Duber in the corner, puts it on net. Schaefer sticks it away. It's run right in the slot. Caracas shooting just wide, and the rebound from a bad angle is smothered by Schaefer.
The White Bear lads are just frustrated here. They put on extreme pressure. They had Edina running all over the ice and just missing the net on a couple of shots. Take a look right now. Here's that last shot. Bouncing off took a bad bounce off the backboard, and Schaefer had to freeze the puck. Whoa. I'm surprised Edina didn't just ice it. Get it out.
They threw one bad pass that gave White Bear a great shot from the slot, as we have a timeout now called by White Bear Lake. With 1:22 to play in the third period, Edina leading 2-1.
It's been a good third period too, hasn't it?
Yeah. Actually, the first period was tough, I think, for both clubs to play, and the second and third periods have been well played.
White Bear drew first blood. If you just joined us, it was 1-0 after one. Clausen got the goal. Hoekstra tied it in the second period for Edina, and Henniker has broken the deadlock in 11:10 of this third period. Edina huddled around their venerable coach, Willard Eichelin. Willard Eichelin was a starting goalie for Evelyn High School for 5 years. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. He was all-state every year. 4 times All-American at Michigan. And, of course, the winningest goalie, winningest coach in high school history of any sport, all sports in the state of Minnesota. He runs a tight ship. He's a very easygoing fellow in person, but he's a quiet Vince Lombardi when he coaches his club.
And he set his timetable. He says 3 more years after this, and then he'll quit. 1992, when he's 60 years of age, he'll step down. There's Tom Simpson.
Excellent coach also, Simpson. His club came out here this afternoon and played this like a championship game. I think they played this well yesterday. Maybe there might have been a different verdict. What do you think?
I think Denfeld gets a lot of credit for not letting White Bear Lake get going yesterday. Denfeld just played a very strong game.
Absolutely.
All right, face-off between Ron and Peterson. Ron wins the draw. Back to John Peterson. Lining it around for Henniker, who chips it down the ice, and it flips up into the scoring box and out of play with 1:15 to play.
Almost hit one of our cameramen down there. That little chip shot. It's 2-1 Edina with 1:15 left in this consolation game. Going to drop the puck now to the left of Schaefer, the Edina goaltender. He let in that one little chip by Clausen in the first period, and he's been strong ever since.
See how Ron angles in here on these draws? He really angles in there to try and use that body. He's a pretty big kid. His leverage on that draw, and it worked again. And it's cleared by Henniker to center. As we approach the 1-minute mark, and Edina has the puck in the White Bear Lake end. The Bears need to come back quickly. Ron breaks it up. Comes back to his line for Lindell. And John Peterson shoots it ahead. 52 seconds. Here comes Meyer trying to center. Broken up by John Peterson, and he'll clear it. Ron racing for it. Will get there first. He has Henniker trailing. Now Ron shoots himself, and it's blocked in front. And back come the Bears. Stick checked away, and here's Henniker with it. 35 seconds. Now 2 Bears collide at center ice. 30 seconds remaining. Nick Meyer. Peterson on the far side. The two Petersons collide, and the puck winds up out of play with 23 seconds remaining, and Brian Peck heading to the White Bear Lake bench.
Well, they pulled their goalie. They'll have 6 attackers now. Let's see if they can get the equalizer. The draw will come in the Edina end. That's the last thing they wanted.
But it's out towards the blue line.
Yeah. This is an important draw, that's for sure, and it goes out for Edina.
So out to center, Christensen shooting it in. Played by Greg Chapman, but we're down to 15 seconds. Now here's Duber centering through the slot. It's going to go back. There's nobody at the blue line. And White Bear is going to run out of time here as we're down to 5 seconds. The puck comes to Hoekstra. He misses the open net. But it does not matter as the game ends. And Edina, after a very slow start, comes back to win the type of game they've won so often this year. Disciplined game, good defensive game. And the Hornets, on the goal by Mike Henniger with less than 4 minutes remaining, win it 2-1, and they will play either South St. Paul or Warroad in the Consolation Championship game at noon tomorrow.
Indicative of how well White Bear Lake played. They outshot Edina 29-22. And I want to tell you, those were quality shots that White Bear had also. As a matter of fact, they had more quality shots, in my opinion, than Edina did, Ted. Goaltending was fabulous on both ends. I'm really happy with this game. As you mentioned, the first period started slowly, but the second and third periods had the intensity of the championship flight, not the consolation flight. Mike Henniger going into the dressing room for Edina as the hero of this contest, at least at this moment, by getting the winning goal to break the 1-1 tie at 11:10 of this third period.
And so Willard Eichel going off will coach one more game this year, and that will be at noon tomorrow. And I think he has to be pleased with getting his young goalie Schaefer, a junior, a rare chance to play, and he stood up pretty well under the pressure of playing in this big building.
Oh, excellent. And he's got so many people coming back, too. Hoekstra, if you noticed, is a sophomore for Edina. He had a great game. I was really impressed with Meyer of White Bear. Man was robbed a couple of times. A post here. Toe saved by Schaefer there.
And even though White Bear lost this game, Steve, they have to feel a little bit better about the end of their season because they played a much better game against a quality team today than they were able to against Denfeld
I'll tell
yesterday.
you what we'll do right now. We'll go on down to Tom Hanneman. He's got a special interview.
Thanks, Steve. Willard Eichel, Mike Henniger, congratulations. Willard, things started a little slow for your group today. Tough game always.
Well, it's always tough to get the guys moving after a loss yesterday, and we didn't have, I would say, a real great game, but we kind of hung in there, and we really got some big goaltending from Mike Schaefer, our backup goaltender, especially in the second period when he stopped about 5 point-blank shots there and kept us in the game. And tomorrow we're going to be better. You come off that loss, and it's just hard to get the guys going. Now we got one, and tomorrow we're playing for a trophy, so tomorrow we're going to have a little more fire, a little more spirit.
Mike, you got the winning goal. A little credit has to go, though, to White Bear Lake. They played an outstanding game to get things going today.
I didn't hear you.
Got to give White Bear Lake a little bit of credit in this game. They really played well, did they not?
Oh, yeah, they came out flying hard. They didn't know just as bad as we did. Both had disappointing losses yesterday, and we both wanted to come out just to make it through to tomorrow for a trophy.
South St. Paul or Warroad, any preference?
Oh, not really. I'm just happy to be playing tomorrow and getting through, not going home 0-2.
Mike Henniger, Willard Eichler, thanks so much. We'll send it back up to the booth.
All right, Tom, thank you. So Willard Eichel admitting it was a little tough to get the guys going. No surprise.
No, it wasn't. Nice victory for Edina, and a real nice effort by White Bear Lake. They easily could have won it. It was an even Steven hockey game.
All right, we're going to take a little break. Chris Cuthbert and Lou Nanny will be joining you for Rochester John Marshall and Duluth Denfeld, which comes up shortly in the championship semifinal. Edina wins this game, and live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing coverage of the 1989 State High School Hockey Tournament.
Here's some news the Noid won't like. Domino's Pan Pizza. Thick, chewy crust smothered with cheese and toppings and delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Sorry, Noid. Call for Domino's Pan Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Big news from Domino's Pan Pizza. Call for our Pan Pizza meal deal. A pan pizza with 2 toppings and 2 servings of Coke, just $8.95 plus tax. Call your participating Domino's Pizza store today. Pre-season savings on top quality Bryant air conditioning. Save up to $500 off Sedgwick's already low prices. For a free estimate, call Sedgwick about Bryant today.
1989 Chevy full-size pickup, all dressed up without running up the price. $10,170 at your Heartland Chevy dealers. '89 full-size pickup, $10,170 after $500 rebate at your Heartland Chevy dealers. Full-size, on sale now.
This is the way most people build up their nest egg at a bank. It's safe, it pays interest, and it's taxable. But now, TCF offers you a way that's a whole new breed altogether. A tax-deferred annuity that lets your money multiply faster. Get an annuity through TCF and see just how fast your money multiplies.
I'm Sylvia Gambardella, WCCO-TV's Help Center for Consumer Specialist. Every weekday, our helpline will be open from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for your calls. Money matters, mail fraud, legal problems. At Help Center 4, we'll provide answers to your consumer questions.
Help Center 4, because we're for you.
We are back live at the St. Paul Civic Center. Well, you got back here in a hurry, didn't you? Ralph John Fritz along with Tom Hanman, who was just down on the ice. And 1-0, 1-1, then all of a sudden it's 2-1, and Edina comes away the winner. So the Giant woke up there in the third period, Tom. White Bear Lake, goal by Clausen here, made it 1-0 in the first period, right up and over the shoulder of backup goaltender Mike Schaefer there.
Second period, Edina ties it up. Josh Hoekstra with the goal, a tip in front, and it was a 1-1 hockey game after 2.
Edina has a way of playing defensive hockey. They've done it all year, and then they come up with that big goal, and this was the game winner. It comes from Mike Hineker, number 14, who'd been rather quiet. There's a whiff on the puck right there. The defender takes out the man, but then Hineker is there with the goal. That was Matt Cronin, number 10, who was taken out. Goalie saves.
We look at them here. Brian Peck of White Bear Lake, 6 saves at the third period, ends up with 20. Mike Schaefer, the junior, ends up with 26 saves and the win. He's 4-0 this year so far, and he's got another game to go possibly.
Well, I don't think this will come as a big surprise. Our TCF play of the game, and it goes to Mike Hineker, number 14, scoring the game-winning goal for Edina. And as we said, it was Matt Cronin who was right there, but he whiffed on the puck. He was taken out of the play, but Hineker was there. Johnny on the spot and knocks it in for the game winner. 2-1 for the Edina Hornets.
So Edina will go on now to play the winner of the South St. Paul Warroad game this evening. We see now, as it stands, Edina will face, well, we'll look at that in a moment. The next game coming up, Duluth Denfeld, Rochester John Marshall at the championship semifinal at 2:45 start.
Edina will face either South St. Paul or Warroad in the consolation, and that game, of course, will be played 7 o'clock this evening.
International Falls and Jefferson and the other championship.
Yeah, we have some interesting developments in the weather as far as people getting here and not getting here. Rochester John Marshall playing in the game coming up, of course. They're in the south part of the state against Duluth Denfeld up north, and the weather is really kind of playing havoc as far as people getting here. We'll relate those stories to the people as time